So, Poirot, did you find anything out?
It's a bit early for the handcuffs, my friend. Even for Hércules Poirot. Do not worry, mon ami. I believe our culprit has no plans to strike again. Monsieur Rachet was the target. Of that I am convinced. Tell me, Book, how did you spend last night?
This is a joke, I hope. Don't you trust your old friend?
My friend, calm yourself. I must hear your story in order to corroborate other accounts.
Ah, naturally. Let me see. I went to my compartment after dinner. Dr. Constantine was already there. We talked about his career. He's a Cambridge man, you know. After university, he returned to his country and has done much good there. He was so interested in the Orient Express. I told him all the anecdotes I know. I'm not certain when we fell asleep, but it was very late.
Here is what I have found out. Monsieur Rachet was stabbed many times. I also found threatening letters in his safe. He had a loaded gun under his pillow, so he was on guard, ready to defend himself. However, there was an empty glass with white residue at the bottom. I suspect a barbiturate. Perhaps he was forced to take it. In any case, I am certain he was unconscious, unable to defend himself. I also found several other items at the crime scene, possibly related to the murder. They must be investigated.
By all means, Poirot. As fast as you can.
I also found liquid for an electronic cigarette, but I could not find a vape. This might belong to the murderer.
This criminal is an amateur.
I need a list of the passengers with their compartment numbers.
Pierre Michel will have it.
I must interview the rest of the passengers and the staff.
I'll be in the bar car if you need me. We are hours late. Soon I hope help will arrive.
Vale. Tenemos que interrogar al señor Mitchell y a la señora Hubbard.
Monsieur Michel, I must ask you a few questions if you don't mind.
I will do everything I can to help.
First of all, tell me about yourself.
Very well. My name, as you know, is Pierre Michel. I am from Calais. I've been with the company for over 15 years.
Thank you. No, not good. I must admit I'm not right this time.
En francés. Ya sabéis que yo y las
That was
oraciones y
easy.
eso.
Can you provide me with a listing of the passengers and their rooms, please?
Yes, certainly.
Nombres: Tobey, Constantin 101, Héctor, Harris. Ah, no, Tobey, Constantin, Harris 101, Héctor, McQueen. Bueno, Héctor 202, Edward. A ver. 102, Antonio 103, Mary 104, Greta 104, Hillgate 105, Archibald 106, Natalia 107, Sirius 201, Nicolás 102, Samuel 203, Caroline 204 y Rudolf, Pierre, Michel 301, Frejanés 301, 202 y Jean 202. Vale.
Are you a smoker?
Indeed.
Do you smoke e-cigarettes?
No, tobacco only.
I would like to reconstruct with your help the events of last night. Monsieur Rachet retired to bed. When?
Almost immediately after dinner, sir. Actually, before we left Belgrade.
Did anybody go into his compartment after that?
His valet, monsieur. Monsieur Masterman, and then his secretary, the young American gentleman, Monsieur McQueen.
And that is the last time you saw or heard of him?
No, monsieur. You forget that Monsieur Rachet rang his bell around 12:40 a.m., soon after we had stopped. I knocked at the door, but he called out in French, Ce n'est rien, je me suis trompé. I then left to answer another bell that had just rung.
Where were you at 1:15 a.m.?
I was sitting on my little seat at the end of the car, facing up the corridor.
Are you sure?
I left a little after 1 a.m. to speak about the snow with my colleague Jean in the bar car. I came back later. There was a call. I remember speaking to you.
Indeed, I remember. Carry on.
It was the American lady, Madame Hubbard. She thought she saw a man in her compartment. Then, around 1:50 a.m., I made the bed for Monsieur Rachet's secretary, Monsieur McQueen. He had spent the evening talking with the English Captain Arbuthnot. At 2 a.m., I returned to my place and stayed there until dawn.
What is the last station where we stopped?
Vinkovsky.
Could someone have come on board?
Possibly. I was very busy. Owing to the weather, we were a few minutes late. We left at 12:10 a.m.
Good morning, madam. I am Hércules Poirot.
Caroline Hubbard. What can I do for you, Mr. Poirot?
I am the bearer of unfortunate news.
It's obvious with all the commotion that something has happened.
Madame Hubbard, I am afraid your neighbor, Monsieur Rachet, was murdered last night.
Oh my God! I knew it! I knew it!
I would like to ask you some questions, but first, may I inspect your room?
Of course, yes, you must.
This is wrong, but I'm...
Pero es estadounidense. Sí, porque decía que América era más bonita que esto.
That was easy. Here is a jacket button. It bears the logo of the Orient Express. This door connects to Monsieur Rachet's compartment. It was latched on this side. The luxury of the Orient Express is present in every detail.
Pues no entiendo. Me hace abrir esto porque...
Another delightful trophy for my collection.
No. Es que me hace abrirlo, pero no entiendo. ¿Qué hago?
Madame, please tell me about last night.
The murderer was right here in my compartment. I woke up. All in the dark it was. I was just so scared I couldn't scream. I pressed the call button. I pressed and pressed. I heard footsteps running in the corridor, then a knock on my door. "Come in," I screamed. And I switched on the lights at the same time. And would you believe it? There wasn't a soul there.
You think he went back into the other compartment?
How do I know where he went? I had my eyes shut tight. The conductor came in. I told the man what had happened, and he didn't seem to believe me. I asked him to search the room, but he found nothing. I told the conductor to look at the door between the compartments, and sure enough, it wasn't bolted. Well, I soon saw to that. I told him to bolt it, then and there.
How is it you didn't bolt the door between the two compartments?
But I had. Well, as a matter of fact, I asked that Swedish lady, Olsen, Greta, if it was bolted, and she said it was.
How was it you could not see for yourself?
I was already in bed, and my toiletry bag was hanging on the hook of the door. I couldn't see the latch from where I was.
What time was it when you asked her to do this for you?
Oh, it must have been around 10:30 or 10:45 p.m. She'd come along to see if I had an aspirin. But instead of opening my door, she opened Mr. Rachet's door by mistake. He said something quite rude, like, "Not a chance, lady, you're too old." It shocked her. She came in. I told her where to find the aspirin, and she got it out of my toiletry bag. Poor girl, she didn't have a good night.
The same could be said for Monsieur Rachet. It appears Mademoiselle Olsen may be the last person to see Rachet alive. Is this your handkerchief?
No, not at all.
Yet it is embroidered with an initial H, like your name.
I don't care. It's not mine, and I would certainly never buy something so impractical as that frilly thing.
Are you a smoker?
No, definitely not. Filthy habit.
I found a jacket button on your table. It looks like it belongs to a train employee. The button bears the logo of the Orient Express.
Well, of course the conductor came in last night, but he didn't go near that table.
Still, it's a safe bet that it belongs to the conductor. I'll check his jacket later, to be sure. I have not finished inspecting your room. If you don't mind,
Vale, ahora sí me dejará.
let's see if Mrs. Hubbard was telling the truth about the latch of the connecting door. This hook is probably where Mrs. Hubbard hung her toiletry bag. I can see the latch very well from here, even with the toiletry bag attached. I'll have to clear that up with Mrs. Hubbard. Mrs. Hubbard, you told me that the door connecting the two compartments was closed, correct?
Yes, it was, as I told you. I was already in bed and my toiletry bag was hanging on the hook of the door. I couldn't see the latch from where I was. That's why I asked Miss Olsen to check if it was closed.
I know there is a clue somewhere to prove she's lying. Are you sure everything you've told me is accurate, Madame Hubbard?
Of course. I have an excellent memory.
Mrs. Hubbard, I tested putting your toiletry bag on the door hook as you told me. From your bed, you can easily see the latch on the door. The toiletry bag does not hide the latch at all.
Are you saying I'm lying? It may have been stuck somehow in a different position, or I may not have seen it in the darkness. Or I didn't think to look, you irritating man.
Details matter, madame. A man has been most savagely murdered. You will excuse me if I attempt to separate the truth from the false.
Forget my toiletry bag and focus on who entered my compartment. Probably after killing Mr. Rachet.
Madame Hubbard is a force to be reckoned with, but I suspect I'm not done with her. Thank you for your assistance, madame.
Reconstruir las acciones del señor Michel. Vale. Hostia puta. Vale.
This is wrong, but I'm never far from the truth.
No, creo que sería algo así, ¿no?
No, not good.
Monsieur se queda en su puesto hasta el amanecer. Vale. Monsieur fuma. Monsieur y Michel salen del vagón del bar. El tren se detiene por una avalancha de nieve.
I must admit I'm not right this time.
Es que, a ver, dice, el tren se detiene por la avalancha, Rachet llama a Monsieur. Ah, vale, espera. Monsieur vuelve al tren y este sale. Vale, el tren se detiene por la... No, vale. Esto tiene sentido así, sí.
That was easy.
Vale, este ya lo tenemos. Me falta, vale. Selecciona los dos elementos que ayuden a deducir cómo pudo evitar al asesino que lo viera.
This is wrong, but I'm never far from the truth. I must admit I'm not right this time.
Vale, pues será esta. Con esta.
Think, Poirot, that is not a good answer. No, not good.
Espérate. A ver. El tren se detiene a raíz de la... Eso sí que tiene sentido, el reloj y esto sí, ¿vale? Vale.
While Monsieur Michel was chatting with Monsieur Fauchet in the bar car between 1 a.m. and 2 a.m., the murderer could have escaped Rachet's room without being seen. My little grey cells did not let me
A
down.
veces soy un poco ceporrado también, ¿eh?
I found a button from an Orient Express staff jacket. Did you lose one by any chance?
No, monsieur. As you can see, I have all my buttons. It is not mine.
Entonces... Sí. Pero ¿cuál era la chica que...? Espera.
How is it you didn't bolt the door between the two compartments?
But I had. Olsen.
How was it you could...
I was all... I couldn't...
What time?
Oh, she'd come. I told her.
The same could be... It appears...
Vale, Greta. A ver. Greta, ¿vale? ¿Dónde está Greta? Greta Olson 104, vale. 104. Vale, esto no. A ver, 104, ¿vale?
Monsieur Edward Masterman, I believe. May I ask you some questions?
I can barely talk. I have a terrible toothache.
We have a doctor on board the train. Perhaps...
I do not need a doctor. I use essential oils. If you can find my flask of clove oil in my box, I would be grateful.
Fine, if you insist. I will help you. By the smell, I think that the jojoba oil spilled on the other bottles, leaving their labels illegible. I must find another way to find which one is Masterman's toothache remedy. The weighing scale is soaked in jojoba oil. It's unusable. Ah, this old scale will do the job.
Vale.
To start, I must first arrange the vials from the lightest to the heaviest.
Mierda, me ha quitado. Joder.
To start,
Pero espera, a ver un momento, espera que no lo tengo claro. De las mapas, a ver, que a lo mejor no lo estoy haciendo bien. Espera. Vale, a ver. ¿Pero qué tengo que hacer?
to To start, I must first
De la más
arrange the
ligera a la más
vials from
pesada,
the
vale.
lightest to the heaviest.
Vale. Vale. No. Joder. Pero vamos a ver. ¿Qué hago yo aquí?
Oh, this toothache is torture.
Es que las he ordenado. Si eso no sé, mira.
To start, I must first arrange the vials from the lightest to the heaviest.
Si es que me lo sé de memoria, mira.
Now that I know the order, I think that I can easily guess which one is the clove
Vale,
oil.
equivocar en el rojo y en el verde.
I don't think this is the remedy. I don't think this is the remedy. Here is Monsieur Masterman's remedy. Here is your remedy. I hope it will help.
Thank you very much, sir. Ah, well, I can finally speak without too much pain. I'm ready to answer your questions.
You are Monsieur Rachet's valet?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Were you told that your employer was murdered?
Yes, sir. A very shocking occurrence.
Este 22 años no puede tener.
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot. At what hour did you last see Monsieur Rachet?
It must have been around 9 p.m., sir. That or a little after. I went to bed around 10:30 p.m., same as the person who shares my room, Mr. Foscarelli. He almost immediately began snoring.
What did you do then?
I read, sir, and I spent a while soothing my toothache with clove oil and listening to the snoring.
Did you hear anything during the night?
Yes, my roommate's snoring.
Are you a smoker?
Yes, sir. I have a cigarette now and then to relax.
Tell me about your employer, Monsieur Rachet.
I've been working for him for 9 months. I should not wish to speak ill of the dead, but he was not a gentleman, sir.
Did you know that he had enemies?
Yes, sir. I heard him discussing some threatening letters, sir, with Mr. McQueen.
Did he mention these letters to you?
He had been reading a letter when I came in. He asked me if I was the one who put it in his compartment. I told him that I had done no such thing, and he should report it to the police at the next station.
How did he respond?
He laughed, sir.
You're joking.
I do not joke, sir.
Forgive me, I can see you do not. Was he taking sleeping pills?
Always when traveling by train, sir. He said he couldn't sleep otherwise. Last night he asked me to give him 2. I did so, along with a glass of water. He dissolved them in the water.
Did you see him drink the water?
No, sir. I left right after I gave him the pills.
Was Monsieur Rachet a smoker?
No, He finds smokers disgusting.
Can you tell me again why you gave sleeping pills to Monsieur Rachet?
Yes, I gave him the pills because when he takes the train, he has trouble sleeping. The letter must have worried him. He specifically asked me to prepare the sleeping pills. I didn't see him drink the water with the pills in it.
I see nothing to prove he's lying. Monsieur, I believe you are not telling me the truth.
What? How can you say that?
He received threatening letters. One, it seems, last night. Did you know he had a gun under his pillow? And even asked for my help to watch over him? I find it strange that he asked you for sleeping pills when he was afraid for his life and prepared to defend himself.
I'm sure I don't know. Maybe to calm his nerves, maybe out of habit.
It makes no sense.
Wait, please. Isn't it possible that Mr. Rachet asked me to prepare the pills, but didn't plan to drink them for some reason?
It is possible. But I am a student of character, monsieur, and the Monsieur Rachet you describe is not the man I met.
If you'll excuse me, my toothache is getting worse again.
I'm afraid this time you must prepare your own clove oil.